Let's move on now to see what's grabbing headlines around the world with Florence Villeminot. Welcome, Florence. Let's start in Iran. Papers there are, of course, focusing on election day and calling for people to go out and vote.
One vote, one future. That's what you can see on the front page of Shargh Daily, one of the most popular reformist papers in Iran. You can also see a photo there of the Ayatollah, Khamenei, who called for a massive turnout. Now, according to Shargh Daily, this vote is really important. Only with a massive vote will Iranians and their children be able to avoid the fate of some neighboring countries, namely countries that experienced the Arab Spring. Progress and reform are much more effective than those kind of adventures. Now, if we take a look at the conservative paper, Kayan, you can also see the Ayatollah there on the front page. And they had a quote here from the Ayatollah. Regardless who wins the election, the real winner will be the nation. The real winner will be Iran.
And other Iranian papers seem to agree with that analysis.
Let's take a look at another paper. This is Etimad, another reformist paper, talking about the rise of a nation. And this is once again calling for people to turn out massively. You can see this sea of people here casting their ballot on the front page here of Etimad. If we stay with Etimad, there's another cartoon where you can see a hand casting a ballot that is shaped like the country Iran. You can see it here talking about what a crucial vote this is for the nation.
Papers outside of Iran are also paying close attention to the presidential election. It's front page news here in France.
It's on the front page of La Croix, the Catholic paper here, that talks about a decisive vote. A lot is at stake for the future of Iran, whether it's on the economic front or also about how open the country will become with respect to the rest of the world. Of course, the two front runners in the election are radically different on this issue. The hardline candidate, Ibrahim Raisi, and the reformist-backed incumbent, Hassan Rouhani, diametrically opposed on many issues. But you can see in this cartoon, this is Al Arab, a pan-Arab paper based in London. According to this cartoon, no matter how different these candidates are, they come together in the hands of the Ayatollah, the person really calling the shots here.
Now, staying in the region, U.S. President Donald Trump is heading to Saudi Arabia as part of a visit, a five-nation tour today.
If we take a look at Libération, they're talking about how Trump may be a sworn enemy in Iran. He is a superstar in Saudi Arabia. The kingdom is going to roll out the red carpet this weekend, eager to dazzle and impress President Trump on his first overseas trip. Saudi Arabia essentially wants to seize this occasion to cement itself as a major player in the world and to shove aside its rival, Iran.
Well, keeping a very watchful eye, papers stateside are also exploring this royal treatment, as you mentioned, awaiting Trump.
It's going to be much more than a run-of-the-mill state visit, according to this article in the New York Times. The Saudis have internationalized the event, organizing a Arab Islamic American Summit. A staggering number of events have been organized. You can read all about it in the paper, including a country music concert in Saudi Arabia. Now, if we look at Saudi papers, they're really glowing today as well, ready to welcome the U.S. president. Al Hayat has a very glowing article about the U.S. president, his policies. His visit is going to be historic, and it will celebrate a partnership between the U.S. and Saudi Arabia.
Speaking of the U.S., news of Trump's visit abroad has been somewhat overshadowed by domestic turmoil.
Take a look at the front page of Time magazine. You can see it here. No headline on the front page here. You can see it's just this image of the White House being taken over, consumed by the red bricks of the Kremlin. Now, Time magazine essentially is highlighting the Russian scandals and allegations of Russian meddling that are really plaguing Donald Trump's presidency. This comes, of course, as the Justice Department announced the naming of the former FBI Director Robert Mueller. He will investigate whether or not Russia interfered in the 2016 presidential election. It's really interesting to see how Russian media is reacting to this cover of Time magazine. It is a big news story around the world, particularly in Russia. You can see the Moscow Times here saying this is just the latest display of the Western media's sustained, perhaps growing fear and resentment of Russia's supposed meddling in world affairs. The Russians are coming. Moscow Times points out that this has been happening habitually in magazines around, well, particularly Western magazines, all afraid of the Russian invasion.
Thank you very much, Florence Villeminot, for following the papers for us. There's more news coming up in just a few minutes. We'll be bringing you all the latest from Iran's trademark presidential election. Do stay tuned.